Hello and welcome to another Read by Red video. Today I'm going to be reading some I Do Work Here Lady. Let's get into this. Be nice to everyone, they might own the place. Backstory, I own a portfolio of 5 different businesses that have little in common with each other. They're all service-based and 3 of them are public-facing and in different areas of the state in which I live. Given that the businesses all operate under separate names, provide separate services, and are located in separate offices, buildings, etc., I tend to allow the managers for each location to hire clerical staff without me meeting them first. This largely works out to everyone's benefit, as I don't have to drive several hours to approve a new receptionist, and it doesn't take time away from my staff or the new hire. One of my businesses happens to be involved with medical testing and is farthest from my home at about 3 hours away, so I only make trips out there if I have to. Shortly before COVID hit, I drove out to the medical testing office to pick up some papers and to meet the new receptionist that had been hired a few days prior. I asked the manager in charge of that office to send me the new hire's name and some background info so I could introduce myself without not knowing anything about them. I pulled up to the office around 5:45 p.m. and walked up to the check-in counter where the new receptionist was sitting. Before I could say anything, let alone introduce myself, new receptionist said, "We're about to close, so you need to come back later." I thought new receptionist was joking and I kind of chuckled and waited for new receptionist to laugh too. New receptionist said, "Are you a crackhead or something? I said we're closed." While I try to keep in mind that I don't know what's going on in someone's life to cause them to be in a bad mood, I also don't want new receptionist or any of my staff to speak to anyone in that matter. This is the conversation between new receptionist and I that followed. "Do you speak to customers that way?" "Yeah, when you people come in late like you own the place." "I do." "You do what?" "I own this place." "Yeah, right." I show the badge that states I'm the owner. "I'd like to see you in my office now." New receptionist's eyes get very wide as she watched me swipe my badge, thus unlocking the door that leads from the lobby to the staff area. I passed the manager's office and told her to follow me to my office, which she did. The manager, new receptionist, and I sat down in my office and I explained the situation to the manager. I then explained to new receptionist that our office gets people from all walks of life and in all types of situations, and that I don't tolerate any of my staff speaking to people in such a manner when they're representing my business. I asked the manager to draft termination papers while I had a final check made out to new receptionist. When we settled all the formalities of firing new receptionist, I handed her the check, which she grabbed out of my hand and tried to storm out of the building. However, by the time we finished, it was well past 6 p.m, which is when the office closes and the front door automatically locks and requires an employee badge to unlock. As such, when new receptionist tried to open the door, it was locked, and when she tried to swipe her badge, the little red light just blinked because her badge was no longer active. The manager ended up having to swipe her badge to let new receptionist out, to which new receptionist mumbled thanks and left. This is just another example of be polite, always be polite, because you never know who you're talking to. Alrighty, here's our next story. Too old to work in a place like this? Several years ago, I was the manager in a trendy independent clothing boutique that catered to teenagers and college students. Had a couple of girls, probably in the 18 to 20 range, come in with their mother. I was working the register that day, so when they asked for help, our owners started helping them select items and take them into the dressing room. When they finally got up to the checkout, the mother said to me, "You should fire that lady. She's way too old to be working in a hip place like this." The old lady was standing a few feet away and walked up to the woman and said, "I don't just work in this place, I own this place, and I designed most of the clothes you just bought. And considering I've owned it for 40 years and it's made me a millionaire, you can kiss my butt. Now get out of my store and don't come back." She was a sassy old lady. I loved her to death. Broke my heart when she died a few years later. People do this all the time. in retail stores. Like, they think only people of a certain age should be working there. It's just not true. You don't know someone else's situation and you don't know their personality. Okay, here's our last story for today, and it's also the longest story, so let's get into it. No, ma'am, I'm not impersonating myself. I'm definitely me. The story of karma revenge against a very angry woman in a chip shop. This one takes place on a late afternoon shift just before the dinner rush, so we had a manager and 2 servers, including myself. An important note for this story is that I used to have my hair dyed a bright blue colour for a lot of my time working at the shop, but I'd recently dyed it back to natural brown as I was making uni applications, and it was generally seriously high maintenance when you had to wash it every day as the colour ran out way too fast. So, we're all going about our business, taking orders and getting ready for the dinner rush. This lady comes in with her kids. Now, she's a regular. Not a friendly regular, but we typically see her a few times a week. I take her order and my colleague starts making up her food. As I'm packing it up, she seems annoyed, so I ask if everything is okay with the order, as I'm concerned I've made a mistake and would rather rectify it then and there. She sighs and tells me it's fine, but she misses having her order taken by the girl with the blue hair. She was much faster and politer than me, and asked me if she still worked there and what days she works. My service has not changed. I'm still doing my job the same as usual. The only difference is my dyed hair. I'm also the only one with unnatural coloured hair, so she's definitely talking about me. Now, as well as being able to tell from my face, as most of our hair is covered by a hat anyway, who I am, we also wear name tags. Our names come up on the register when we take orders, and they print out on the receipts as a way of identifying who took an order in the event of a problem. So I say, "Thank you so much for the compliment. That's actually me. I've just dyed my hair. But I appreciate the comments on my service this time and we'll try to improve." I've got another 7 hours left on this shift. I am super polite, as the last thing I want is for this woman to kick off right before the dinner rush when I'm still stuck here all night. She goes nuts, telling me that I'm committing fraud and that she's gonna have me fired and possibly arrested, and even try to rope my colleague into admitting I'm lying, at which point they slip out back to locate the manager who was cooking. How could I claim that I, with my terrible service, is the lovely girl who usually serves her? Her kids are there also trying to insist I'm clearly the same person, but she just keeps pushing them out of the way, yelling that "Mummy is handling this." I do not have the energy for this stuff. I try apologizing. I even offer her a free drink for the inconvenience, just to get her out of the store. She's not having it and asks for my manager. He's been standing at the back with my coworker, literally pissing himself with laughter at this woman for the last 2 minutes, but puts on his customer service face and comes over. She starts demanding I'm fired. He just lets her rant for a while, then asks if she happens to have a receipt from a previous transaction with the girl she wanted to be served by. She pulls one out of her bag triumphantly, literally with a flourish, thinking she's got her way, and proved me to be the scoundrel she thinks I am. It has my name at the top, clear as day. He points to my name tag and has her read out the name on the receipt and the name on the tag. She gets super flustered, but is way too far gone now to admit her mistake, starts claiming I've stolen someone else's name tag and that she'll have me arrested for identity theft. My manager at that point is totally done and tells her to get out and don't come back without a better attitude. For the next 9 months I worked there, as we're the best only fast food place in the local area. She stands outside sending her very embarrassed kids in twice a week so they can still get a takeaway. And of course, it's England in the winter. It rains a lot. But I hope the manager didn't literally piss himself, because gross, not in a restaurant. Ugh. Hey, in case you're wondering, I'm Red, and I do work here, lady. And I just read some / I do work here, lady stories. So I hope you liked them, and you should like the video too. Click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button and turn on notifications by clicking the bell. Alright, Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Give me a comment and let me know what you thought of the video. Okay,